Welcome to Dark Horse Matters, the show about passionate people. And I'm so blessed because ever since I started this podcast, I've just met so many incredible people, inspiring people in this world. And I just can't wait to share more stories with you. The whole purpose of this platform is to get people to share their stories, and hopefully out there, you listening will get inspired to find your passion and go after it. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified every single time I post a new story on here. I have a very special guest today. She is truly inspiring and just has a gift to uplift people to their highest potential. And I've only known her a short time, but I've seen it in the flesh and it's very exciting. And I can't wait to introduce her to you so you guys can see what she's been up to. I recently met her through a dental hygiene convention, first time going, RDH Under One Roof and RDH Evolution in Orlando this year. And I was just so grateful. It's just been such an enlightening and very powerful week of learning and meeting and networking with a lot of people with like minds. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Editor-in-Chief of RDH Magazine, Jackie Saunders. Woo!
Yeah. Well, hi, Bev. Thank you for that beautiful, wonderful introduction. It's been such a joy to meet you. And I was glad to meet you at RDH Evolution, spend time with you at Under One Roof. And now we get to sit here and just be friends on your podcast and share some information with our colleagues.
Absolutely. And I just want to kind of share the way I got introduced to you was through Amber Oji or Auger, however you pronounce her name. But I interviewed her a couple of episodes ago, and I met her through the convention in Hinman here in Atlanta. And she was the one who told me about you and how you just really open a lot of dental hygienists' eyes to the different ways you can make your career go. It doesn't only have to be one lane, which a lot of people who go into this profession don't even realize there are no barriers. You can do so much with your dental hygiene career. And I just find that so fascinating. It just opens a lot of doors for a lot of people who don't even realize what's out there.
Number one, first point you made is the power of networking. It's the more people who know what you're looking for, what your passions are, what your ambitions are, then the more that person can introduce you to people with like minds. And so I'm glad that Amber introduced us to each other. And then the second point you made is dental hygiene is not all clinical. That's where we all need to spend the beginning of our time, because I always tell new grads that's really when school starts, is when you see that first patient on your own. But there are so many avenues that the clinical hygienist can transition to: part-time, full-time, if they have health issues that they can move on and do other things. But it's a very, very diverse career, and it's continuing to branch out in other directions, even now post-COVID.
Yes. And, that is very inspiring to me, just being in that room with all the different hygienists that are venturing out and doing so much with their license, and I mean, there really are no boundaries. As long as you meet the right people and, you have that kind of drive, you can do so much. And I just find that really, really cool. Because honestly, like when I went into dental hygiene school, I was just like, the way I got sold was people say it's flexible, you can travel, you can have a family, like you can choose your schedule. And I was like, I'm sold, but when I actually jumped into the career, I found that, I don't know, I felt stuck in my own limiting beliefs, I guess, and wondering what else is there? I never thought beyond, okay, what happens if I get injured, or what happens if I, am a single mom, or what happens, I never thought that far in advance. So once you're in that career and your head on, like, it's good to know that there is other options out there for us.
I had spent so much time in dentistry. As many hygienists, I started as an assistant, went into office management, started working with the coaching. And so I actually didn't graduate from hygiene school until I was 38. So I was very aware of all of the different aspects, all of the different things that are out there for hygienists. And so I never felt stuck. I feel bad for the hygienists that do feel like they're stuck, because I recently had a conversation with an individual that was in a not a happy situation in an office. And I said, it's time for you to take charge of your own life again. It's time for you to make those decisions on what you want to do, whether you want to be there or not. As long as you start looking for your next step, then it makes being there feel a little bit easier. But it's just finding the right people to help you find those answers. And I now have 45 other hygienists who attended Evolution that can reach out and help those people that are looking for different directions.
That is so cool. So I kind of just want to go backwards a little bit.
Okay.
I always ask people in dentistry this, because every time I talk to people, they're like, why dental hygiene? Like, that is just other people can't fathom the idea of being in somebody's mouth, and why you would choose that to be your career. So I just want to ask you, I ask all the people in the dental field this, why did you choose dental hygiene initially?
Initially, I chose dental hygiene. Well, there's a lot of reasons. There's not an initial reason, but what drove me to go back is I was working as an office manager. I went in and asked for a raise, and the dentist said, "I'll never pay you more than I'm paying you now." And that was what inspired me to figure out what was next for Jackie, because I'm obviously a continual learner and wanted more. And so that's why I went back to hygiene school late in life, and not that late in life, really. But I've always been a caretaker. I loved my patients. I was clinical hygiene for almost 14 years, and I always connected with my patients. And when I actually left a 10-year job in Utah, they had a party for me when I moved. And a hygienist never really realizes how much of a difference we make in somebody's life until you get ready to leave them. And that probably transitioned my life immediately, because I never realized how much of a difference I made until people started telling me, my children grew up with you. Who are they going to go to now? But I think hygienists by heart care about people, and we want to make a difference in people's lives.
Absolutely. It was funny because I was one of the oldest students in my dental hygiene class. I thought I was getting in on the late end too. I graduated at 30, and everyone in my class was all like, 19, 22 years old, and, I felt like the mother, the immature mother of the group. I don't know. I just find it so awesome that there's no
Absolutely
set way to do it. You were at one office for a long time, and I feel like there's such a trend or a change nowadays. Like, I feel like a lot of hygienists like to float around and experience all kinds of offices before they settle, for a home per se. Like, and I don't know, for me, right when I jumped out of hygiene school, I was just like, I need experience, and, I kind of planted my seat and in a place where I knew I could learn as much as I could in a short period of time. But I don't know, I'm not one to jump around. I like to build relationships, and with the patients, it takes like 2 years just to meet everybody.
Well, and there's pros and cons to both, which is, something in my day right out of school, temp hygienists weren't a key job. I mean, it wasn't something that hygiene really was looked at for as just temporary. But now, those of us who want full-time positions, we can do those full-time positions. Or if you're an individual some hygienists love being somewhere different every day or every other week because they don't get involved in the office politics, or they can manage their own schedules better if they have additional needs outside of work that they need to take care of. So it's, as I said, it's just provided the hygienist a different career path if they want to work temporary.
Yes. And I just love that there's that option, like you have choices. So in the dental world, like in the clinical setting, what was your favorite thing about it? Like what inspired you? What excited you?
My patients. I was fortunate when right out of hygiene school, I was hired by a father and son who had not had a hygienist before. And because of my dental experience, they gave me the opportunity to build the hygiene department the best way I saw fit. And I had 2 operatories, and I worked with a dedicated assistant who was my best friend and still is a very, very good friend today. And we worked together and provided quality care for our patients. We worked 2 chairs. She did everything that she was able to do. We worked in Utah, so that was quite a bit. She did all of my x-rays. She did the health screenings. She did all the coronal polishing and fluorides. And then when we had perio patients, then she would assist me. And that was probably the funnest clinical experience I had, because with a full-time assistant, you can see more patients. Some hygienists don't think that is the path they want to go down, and I understand that and I respect that. But I also enjoyed it because it gave me so much diversity, and we could see so many more patients. We could provide quality care because we both were very skilled at what we did. So that is what inspired me, is just getting to know my patients. I like people.
Yes, I think that's my favorite part too. Like, I mean, sometimes it's like I just meet somebody, a new patient, and it's like, wait, I forgot to give you a hug, like before they leave. And I don't know. And just meeting their family, seeing them grow and seeing a patient go from being fearful to all of a sudden excited to show you what they've accomplished, like, hey, I've flossed every single day since the last time I saw you, like they're excited to come in and tell you about their progress. And that's exciting to me. Like when I know that my education and, what I communicated made a difference in their lives.
Well, and we know when you stay in one office for an extended period of time, you get to know your patients. You get to know what their quirks are. You can talk them through those scary, hard places they don't like. You know what kind of flavor of paste they can't handle, or what grit they don't like. Or, I worked with a lot of patients who had special needs as children and learned how to work with their needs, whatever they may be at that time. So it's being at one place. Those patients become very important people to you.
I find it interesting that you started in the front office and made your way to the clinical setting. I guess when I look at it, my very first job ever was in a dental office. I was getting my teeth cleaned, and, the dentist was like, oh, what are you doing this summer? And I was like, oh, I was trying to get a job at Jack in a Box across the street, and I got declined. And he was like, you want to work here? And I'm like, seriously? He's like, you can start right after your appointment. Like, that's how I got my foot in the door into dentistry.
Yeah.
And
yeah. My dad was a dentist. So I started at a very young age working for my assisting him. And then I went through a dental assisting program. And so then after that is when I went to the front office work. But,
so you really, you
it's
grew
in my
up.
blood. It's in my blood. And I think it was a benefit to me because I understood the needs of the dentist, respect the needs of the dentist, respect the overhead and the costs that a dentist is facing. So I saw dentistry in a different light. I was able to see the office as a whole. And I was taught early on in my career, understanding the costs and the whys and the what fors. And a practice isn't just about the patient care. It's about keeping those doors open for your patients. So it was a full spectrum. I kind of got a view from the backside.
Yes. No wonder you're so amazing. Oh my gosh.
No.
You have the bones of a dental hygienist.
Well, I always say my dad gave me my passion for dentistry and my mom gave me my joy for life. So,
oh, that's awesome. And it's funny because like a lot of people in the dental world I meet, they are in dentistry because they have family, but my sisters, they're all like, I have a nurse and I have lawyers in my family.
Yeah. I have two sisters and they're both like, I don't know how you ever stuck your hands in somebody's mouth.
Yeah, it takes a special person to be a dental hygienist for sure, but we love it,
Yeah, we do.
As far as your career, like at what point in your career in dentistry did you decide to go into the whole field of progressing the profession?
I like to call them chapters or stepping stones. There's different things that come along in life that make us change, whether we want to or not. And I left the job in Utah and moved to Illinois and could not find the similar type of office, which kind of questioned my passion for clinical care. And I actually started networking. I was part of the ADHA association and was in a rural area. I'm trying to remember the name of it, Western Suburban Dental Hygiene Association, and met all of the individuals that I had been admiring from afar. Being in Utah, I read RDH every month and I wondered how these women got to where they were going. And lo and behold, I met Carol Jan, who had been an idol of mine for years. And at the same time, I was looking for that transition. I shared some time with Carol. She was kind enough to go to lunch with me. And once she knew, once again, here's the networking, once she knew I was looking for other opportunities, several weeks later, she called and let me know she was building an educator's program and asked me if I'd want to do that part-time. So it provided me the opportunity to still do clinical, but then it also provided me the opportunity to dip my toe into the corporate world and travel with Waterpik, work at trade shows, work at the exhibit booth, and promote a product that I believed in. And that gave me the drive to want to learn more about this corporate side of things. So I just started sending out resumes like crazy and did several interviews with different companies and ended up with Sunstar and worked with them for 11 years. So it's just letting people know what you're looking for.
Yes, networking. Amber really opened my eyes to that whole thing. And just me having the courage to walk up to her after her speaking event at Hinman, I just walked right up to her and I was like, oh my God, I love you. Let me interview you. And she's like, okay, like it was so easy. And after that, like she opened so many doors for me. And one of those doors was you. And I'm so grateful.
I just see myself as just a real person. I'm a hygienist just like you. I'm just older. I'm just further down the road. I've learned some from the school of hard knocks. And when I hear that people are afraid to approach me or talk to me, it's almost saddens me because it's like I'm just like you. I'm just a hygienist trying to find her way. But networking is I can't say enough about it. It's just connect, and hygienists do it so easily.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And I can't even imagine you not being approachable. Like from the second, like we had our first phone call together, I was like feeling like we knew each other for years already. You're such an easygoing person. And I think as a dental hygienist, like I wasn't always like that. When I first started in dentistry, I was so shy and introverted. And I feel like this profession just really opened me up and got me out of my shell. It was a very positive thing in my life.
Yeah,
for sure.
And ironically, I have an introverted side to me. And I think it's because, and which I would like all hygienists to realize, it's okay to be a little introverted, because all day long we give of ourselves to every patient. And often we go home at night and the last thing you want to do is talk to somebody else. And you kind of have to have that safe zone that you can go. And I call it recharging my battery. And I go there pretty often. My husband is aware. He's like, you just need to go recharge. Because we give. And at some point, you have to stop and give back to yourself, or you're just going to burn yourself out. And that's one thing I think we've seen a lot here lately. A lot of content has been written about burnout. And often it's because we don't provide ourselves enough time to regroup and do something kind for ourselves.
Absolutely. And people come into our chair. I don't know if it's because they're laying down. It's a very vulnerable position. And, they unload, they either unload on you, or they just, project their fear onto you, or they don't say anything and they just kind of, scrunch up and you're like, what are you thinking? But it's everyone's fears come out in a different way. And you as a hygienist have to be able to read them and make them feel comfortable.
Yeah. And it's respect. I think we need to sometimes the fears are legit. They're phobias. They're legitimately afraid to be there. And, sometimes you see these comments on social media, people talking about their patients, and we're there to care for them, not to judge them or belittle them, or, and yes, there are difficult patients, but, there's also difficult people at the grocery store. But that patient in your chair is there to be cared for by you. So
yes.
Put on that hygiene smile.
Yes. I don't know. Like sometimes the challenge of having a difficult patient and turning them around, like I jump on that. I'm like,
sure.
If I can turn this person into, I can be that person's favorite person, even though they hate being there, like that I feel like I did my job,
Yeah.
As editor and chief of RDH magazine, like how did that opportunity come around? Was it through Sunstar?
Absolutely. Once again, it was that networking thing. So at Sunstar, I was managing professional relations. So I worked all the time with RDH magazine, with ad placement, with the Award of Distinction program, what we were going to be sponsoring or doing it under one roof. So I built a relationship with the RDH team, and that was, 11 years strong. And when an opportunity opened up at Under One or at RDH magazine, I started negotiations and talking to them about the position, and the rest is history. I mean, I knew them, they knew me. I threw my name in the hat and was very excited when I got the call. So once again, it's just people knowing when you're looking, what you're looking for, and the rest is history. I can't believe I've been there 3 years now, but
wow.
It's been 3 years. Yeah.
So tell me about RDH Evolution and RDH under one roof. I just can't believe that I've never heard of this convention before. And how long has it been around?
The RDH under one roof is 22 years now. So it's been around for quite a while. When it originally started, it was held on both coasts. They would have it twice a year. And then I don't remember what year it changed, but it came down to just once a year. And that has always been something I've looked at, and it has been one of my initiatives when I started with RDH is, we've got over 100,000 hygienists out there who are needing a network, looking for answers, looking for solutions, and only approximately, 3,000 to 5,000 of them know of Under One Roof. So we've got a lot of hygienists out there that don't know about Under One Roof. So we're figuring out ways to spread the word. But also we have a large population of those hygienists who can't afford to travel once a year, maybe single mothers, maybe financially strapped, just don't have the means to attend. And that is when we came up with Under One Roof Extended, which is the CE courses we have on Saturday now. And so we started figuring out different ways to reach these hygienists. But it's been around for 22 years, and this year was just epic. It was bigger and better than we ever expected it to be. And then with RDH Extended, we actually hosted, I think it was in 2018 or 2019. COVID got my numbers all messed up. But we did have one extended live event held here in Chicago. And then we had to cancel the one for COVID. We tried to do it virtual, but it just didn't feel right. So this was the second RDH Evolution, excuse me, too many E's. RDH Evolution. It was, for many years, there was a program called Career Fusion. And I was fortunate to attend numerous times. And it was a career development platform that truly changed my life, changed my career path. And it was all about networking, building confidence, finding the people that thought like you did and would support you. And when that program closed, there were a lot of hygienists still looking for what's my next step. And I wanted to find that next step, but I never wanted to try to replicate Career Fusion because it was a magical program and it was a one of a kind. So we went down our own path. RDH, the publisher Craig Dixon, had listened to my dreams. And when I started working with him, we decided to launch the second one. And it was scary because I wasn't sure how things were going to turn out this year, but it was amazing that the group of individuals that were in the room, it became very evident that they were meant to be there, that they were meant to meet each other. We all became vulnerable with each other. And I think everybody left there knowing their next steps. And I have heard from almost every single one of you. And that touches my heart to know that what we have created is making a difference.
Absolutely. So those of you listening, especially if you're a hygienist, RDH Evolution, that was like at the beginning of the week. And then RDH Under One Roof was like at the end of the week. And it was just so incredible. A very tight-knit group of dental hygienists who want to get to the next level in their career. And I heard about it through Amber. She's the one who told me about it, and she introduced me to you. And I just 2 days, I cannot believe like how much I learned in 2 days. Like it was like drinking through a fire hose, but you're like happy about it. I was like super happy about it. And the friends that you make in such a short period of time, and you know, everyone's so open and helpful to each other. You didn't feel intimidated by anyone, you know, no competing, you know what I mean? Like,
there wasn't any. I received some comments from a couple of people who it was their first time attending Under One Roof. And they said by going to Evolution first, it made Under One Roof even more fun because any meeting you'd walk into, any networking event, any reception, you saw somebody you already knew. So they didn't feel like they were a first time attending Under One Roof because they already knew so many people.
Right. I was one of those people. Like, oh, I have someone to sit by, you know,
yeah,
like
exactly.
It was, and I have to say that I was fed very well throughout the whole week. It was awesome. You know, like when you're learning, you have to like nourish your brain too, at the same time.
Lots of breaks, lots of snacks,
yes.
Lots of hors d'oeuvres.
Really, really great resort, the Gaylord Palms. Amazing place to have a convention like that. Very beautiful and just comfortable. Everything was comfortable about it.
Yeah, everything. We're the next event is at the Gaylord as well in Nashville. It'll be at the Nashville Gaylord, and everything's literally, as the name says, under one roof. But you don't have to, trek a long way. You don't have to get in cabs and go anywhere else. But this year we did have issues because we were so large, we had to get additional hotel rooms. So we had buses shuttling people back and forth, but we made it work. We made it work.
Yes, I had such a great time. Like very inspiring week. Like when you leave an event like that, you just feel so on fire. I was like reaching out to all my classmates from hygiene school going, "Oh my God, you guys need to come."
Perfect.
It was awesome. Yeah. I hope that I see some of my classmates at the next one. I've been kind
That
of
would
telling
be
them about
great.
it. Is there any, I don't know, sneak peeks that you guys have about next year, besides the fact that it's in Nashville, which I've never been before. So I'm really excited about
Nashville.
that.
Sneak peeks. Well, the dates are July 20th through the 22nd. We're looking at Evolution, of course, will be the days before. So that would be what, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. We're looking at possibly making Evolution a little bit start sooner. Many of the attendees said there was just so much. The attendees want a little bit more time to spend with each other. A little sneak peek I can give you is some of the corporate sponsors saw what we had created and the success. And so we will have more corporate sponsors at the third RDH Evolution. So that opens more opportunities for the sponsors to interact with you, to meet you. So we're going to build some additional platforms around networking with the corporate sponsors.
Oh,
So
great.
that will be happening at Evolution. Of course, under one roof is, going to probably stay the same. We don't want to change something that's working. So the abstracts are closing, I believe, tomorrow, Friday. Yeah, the end of day tomorrow. And then we'll start judging and evaluating the submissions, looking for speakers. So the speaker announcements will probably be coming out here within the next 2 months.
So fast.
And registration's already started.
Good Lord.
It's like I shared with you the other day. I came home from Under One Roof on Monday, and we had our first meeting for Under One Roof 2023 on Tuesday. So it's a year-round process. But yeah, we've already got people signing up for Under One Roof. I've had quite a few emails coming through, people wanting to sign up for Evolution. Of course, Evolution will stay a limited attendance. It's better to keep it small and personable. So I will be making an announcement as soon as those doors open up for registration. I think the speaker platform for Evolution will stay the same, but we've got a couple of little surprises there that I can't let the cat out of the bag yet. But it's just it's growing. It's obviously the Evolution is a platform that a lot of hygienists are looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that was a success.
Yes, it was absolutely. I'm so excited about it. And I wanted to mention Pulp Den. I was one of the lucky recipients to get like a scholarship, like a discount off of the whole program. And I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity because, I am a single mom and it's hard for me to pick up and leave my kids for a whole week. Like I've never been away from them for that long, Yeah. So I'm just so grateful that I had that opportunity and I had that financial help getting down there so I could enjoy for the whole week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, this one thing, the end of the companies that do sponsor have the opportunity to select hygienists and cover a portion of their registration. So as those opportunities come up, I know, Pulp did actually turn to me to provide them with some names of people who were looking. Elevate actually did a search through their social media site. So there's different ways that the manufacturers are selecting the people that they want to sponsor. But I know as well that with the Pulp Den sponsorships, they actually took those that they sponsored out to dinner. and you guys all had the opportunity to sit and get to know each other a little bit better and share some time with them. And through that, sometimes some of these things might turn into jobs. Sometimes it might turn into speaking opportunities. It might turn into writing opportunities. If nothing else, it might just be fantastic experience that makes you realize what you do want to do and what you don't want to do. You know, for many years, I thought I was supposed to be a speaker. For many years, I thought I was supposed to be a writer. And finally, through a career development program, I figured out and learned that I'm meant to be a mentor. I love coaching people and guiding them and lifting them up and helping them find their next step. And once I had that clarity, everything else started falling into place.
Yes.
So that's where these programs benefit the person that's not, I mean, I don't want people to think they have to know what they want to do to come to Evolution, because that's part of our program, is to help you figure out what you want to do.
Right. And what I loved about it was everything just seemed so possible afterwards, before going in, you're just like, oh, I can't do that. Like, that's not me. I don't know if I can have the courage or whatever is, but when you're in there and you're seeing and listening to everybody's experiences and how they got from one point to the next, it just seems so, attainable. Everything seems so attainable. And the people you meet, you actually know a person that can help you get there. Like, very, very cool experience.
Exactly. Yeah, you've always, and I say that as well, even in the role I'm at. I've got 45 new friends. I've got my handbook. So when there's a topic or something I need to know about, I've got the attendees to reach out to and say, hey, I need help with content on this or that or whatever. So it's just building that circle of friends. I mean, we laughed, we cried, we had fun, we danced. It was all there.
Absolutely. Yes. I just can't wait till next year. And I know it's just going to grow. And the people that you meet are just so amazing. Just very inspiring. I just can't wait to see what happens, with everybody that I've met so far and where they're going to go. Yeah.
Well, and for the listener, one thing that we did do with the group this year is we actually started a private Facebook group. So everybody's been able to stay in touch. Everybody's been able to share their wins, what's going on. And that's been fun to watch as well, is that this group of individuals is staying in touch and supporting each other and becoming each other's cheerleader.
That is so awesome. Yes. Yeah. And, those hygienists out there, like, I always hear so many stories of people just being so tired, and just feeling like stuck, like we were talking about. And, I feel like a lot of it is just about your own perception of things. Like, after going to that event, I just look at my office where I'm at totally differently, even the way I communicate with the doctors or with my coworkers, everything is just different now. Like, I see everything, the profession, through different eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I get excited because I'm like, how can I make a difference? How can I affect, my surroundings in a positive way? And I feel like once you have that viewpoint, it just changes everything. And you don't feel so burnt out because, you have you have a view of where you're going.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes certain types of burnout, not all, but some of the burnout is just because you don't know what your next step is. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you have a vision and even if it's just baby steps to get there, you feel like you're progressing rather than being stuck.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm so excited. And I just want to thank you for being who you are. And you're so great at what you do. Like, I don't think you realize how good you are. Like, just being in your presence, like, as a dental hygienist, like, I love your energy. You're so good at making people feel confident. I don't know if it's just, and it's your vibes. It's not even like, you don't even have to say anything. And, like, you have that energy that makes people want to do good, and that's what a leader is. And you're a really great one.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm very humbled. I like to say that you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And I have a lot of positive energy friends that support me, but thank you. I'm glad that you feel what my true intent is, which is to lift others up and make them realize that they can do bigger and better things.
Yes. So one more thing before we end the interview, like when we talk about the positive people you surround yourself with, do you have a very specific person or people that you think of that really helped you like get outside of yourself to know that you can do what you wanted to do? Like who pushed you past that barrier?
Oh, you're going to make me cry. My family. I have two amazing sisters. I have a mother who is still fortunately with me. She's 91 years old. And, we all have a hard place in our lives. And that hard place, my family became most important to me. My two sisters and my mother, I'm the middle child. So that explains some of my quirks. But would be family. I always tell people, when they have challenges or apologize to me for having to reschedule or something, I'm always family is first. Family, family, family. I mean, you as a single mother, you understand that. And so it would be my sisters and my own mom. They're the ones, I think, because they're the ones who truly know me. They're the ones that watch me as a kid on my pogo stick. They're the ones that keep me grounded to who Jackie is and what Jackie's potential is.
That's great. So thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And how can people find you or contact you? Like if they have questions about RDH Under One Roof or Evolution, where can they go to find more information?
Well, I'm pretty easy to find. My email address is right in front of RDH Magazine. But it's jsanders@endeavorb2b.com. So that, my email is the best one, which I shared with you in Evolution. I very seldom do business through social media. I don't watch my message board on Facebook or Instagram, or my emails are so busy that I almost don't have time to do that. So jsanders@endeavorb2b.com.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely,
and I will definitely drop it into the descriptions also. Okay. So people can, have a reference. But I appreciate you coming on here and talking with me. I had so much fun. And I just want to share with all the dental hygienists out there, or hygienists who are looking to be a hygienist, and step into this career. Get excited about it, because it really is progressing, and it's not a place that you can get stuck like a lot of people think. There's so much that you can do with your license and with your education. And it's so much more than just cleaning teeth. It really is so inspiring. And the people I've met in this profession is just unbelievable. Yeah. So I want to thank you for coming on here and sharing with my audience, and good luck to you. And whatever you need from me, do not hesitate to reach out.
Oh, I've got your phone number, Bev. I can get you.
Yes, you can. Anytime too. Doesn't matter what time.
Congratulations to you for reaching for your dream.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I love watching you shine. So thank you for this opportunity to share with our colleagues.
Absolutely. And thank you all for coming here and visiting us on Dark Horse Matters, the show about passionate people who want to go after their dreams and find their happiness. Until next time, be passionate.